Good day, my name is Konstantin Pavlov. I am a student of the 4th course of the Volga Region State University of Telecommunications and Informatics. Currently, millions of people use mobile phones. The connection between them is wireless. This implements the principle of frequency demultiplexing. To visualize this action, it could be effective to create a model in which students could understand the processes taking place while connecting to subscribers with each other. Every year, our university produces more than 300 students specialized in telecommunications. They must clearly visualize these principles of multiplexing different transmission systems. To do it, we will need a working system with a certain stuff which is not real in the learning process. This can be done easier with the help of computer simulations, since in the case there is no need in the required expensive equipment. Modern system MATLAB together with Simulink expansion packet best suits our goal.
To study the principles of demultiplexing, it is sufficient to build a model with a limited number of channels. I'd like to consider the simulation model of a 3-channel transmission system with frequency demultiplexing created in Simulink. This model allows to learn the principles of its construction, as well as to study the system behavior while changing some of its parameters. The model consists in transmission path, the transmission medium, and the receive path. In a transmission path, each channel is assigned to a definite frequency bands. Frequency bands do not overlap. Here, the transmitted signals arrive to the modulator, where the transfer of the signal to a higher band takes place. So the spectrum of each channel signal corresponds allotted bandwidth. Further, the signal of each channel is combined into a multiplex signal which is sent to the transmission line. On the receiving side, the appropriate filters the multiplex channel by their frequency. And signals are converted into the intended messages by recipients thanks to the appropriate filters. So the spectrum of each channel signal corresponds to its bandwidth. The multiplex signal includes the 3 channel signals, each of which is non-overlapping with other frequency bands. In the model of 3-channel transmission system with frequency channels multiplexing, to simplify the process, subscribers are replaced by sinusoidal voltage generators of 10, 20 and 30 Hz respectively. They should be restored in the receive path. The complexity of a model is determined by the setting of individual units, especially the Rx filters. To study the transmission system with frequency channels, demultiplexing varied carrier frequencies and filter parameters, the specific and regularities in changes of a coverage signal from each subscriber dependent on the studied parameters. The model allows it to demonstrate all the processing in all its units with the help of spectrograms and oscilloscopes. In Simulink, there is a possibility to demonstrate the spectrum of the signal as well as its time diagrams by the appropriate units. As it is seen in the spectrogram, different channels are represented in specific colors. The multiplexing effect is clearly illustrated in the spectrogram of the multiplex group, where blue, red, green colors represent the frequencies of the first, second and third channels. Multiplexing processes take place in the time domain, which is effectively illustrated by oscillograms. The process reverses to multiplexing in channels demultiplexing. It helps to restore frequency components corresponding to each of 3 subscribers. The model employs standard units, so it requires minimum time to expand the number of channels to their desired value, for example, up to 6. With the help of this model, one can study the principles of systems construction, as well as to analyze its behavior while changing in the individual parameters. One can change their values using the properties of block included in the system. If do not properly set the carrier frequency channels, may overlaps in frequency range and the correct restore signal at the reception will not occur. In practice, the scheme is usually implemented and gives a visual representation of the construction of modern transmission systems. Thank you for your attention.